Absolutely loads to get through over the next half an hour. Kaveh, Romelu Lukaku, what's going on? Why hasn't it happened? We've been waiting forever.
I think we've got to be fair to Romelu Lukaku. We've got to be fair to Chelsea. I don't think we've been waiting that long. This is a big, big deal. It is worth almost £100 million. It's a complicated deal now as well because it's much more complicated getting in players when they're international transfers because of the rules to do with work permits and visas and so forth. The latest information I have is I've asked someone, do you think it will be announced today? Just a few minutes ago, they've come back to me and said possibly yes. A few things are being worked on at the moment. So look, if you're a Chelsea fan, you don't need to worry about anything. He's in the country. He's going to sign that contract. It is going to be a 5-year contract. It will be worth about £200,000 a week, and Chelsea will be getting the number 9 that they've wanted this summer.
Right, Dharmesh. Will Manchester City get the number 9 they want? What's going on with Harry Kane?
Good question. Well, we know that his self-isolation or quarantine is now over. He was due to today to take a PCR test. Now, if that comes back negative, he can then train with his teammates and he's expected to train with them, all things being well, tomorrow. 2 things. That's 2 days before the start of their season. Number 1, is that enough time to train with your teammates ahead of a game in the Premier League? Number 2, that game happens to be against Manchester City. And we all know it is Manchester City who are desperate to bring in Harry Kane to the Etihad Stadium. So that's where we stand with Harry Kane. 5 days of self-isolation over, due to have his PCR test today, hopefully back in training with Tottenham tomorrow.
Right. Harry Kane has effectively given himself an extra week's holiday, isn't he? Is he getting away with one here? Because if that was Paul Pogba, he would be getting pelters from everywhere. Harry Kane, hardly anyone said anything about it.
It's a good point which we've made on the transfer show before when we've spoken about Paul Pogba and the narrative towards Paul Pogba. Is it fair? Even the narrative now towards Paul Pogba when he's entered the final year of his contract, and it's almost like, well, why is he letting Manchester United down? Why doesn't he just sign a contract? Whereas he's got every right to honour his contract, which has a year to run, and then to weigh up his options and make that decision. I think you're right. If the media reaction, the social media reaction could have been a lot harsher potentially had we been talking about Paul Pogba in the same situation as Harry Kane. I mean, Paul Pogba has reported back to Manchester United when he was due to report back, when he was expected to report back, and all the noises we're getting from Manchester United is great relationship with Ollie, positive, reciprocated back towards Paul Pogba. They love his attitude, he's happy to be training, and all of his social media posts since he's returned to pre-season training, I'm looking forward to the new season.
Kaveh, one rule for one for another?
Very, very good question. I think we're talking about the opening game of the Premier League season. This is not a pre-season friendly. This is Tottenham versus Manchester City, Tottenham versus the champions. Harry Kane is Tottenham's best player. He's the figurehead of that club. He's the captain of England. He was a penalty shootout away from lifting the Euros trophy at Wembley last month. 2-3 days to go before this game. Harry Kane is having a PCR test to see if he can be released to come out and train with his teammates. If I was a Spurs season ticket holder, paying some of the most expensive ticket prices in the world, and I was looking forward to going back to White Hart Lane on Sunday to watch Spurs against the champions, I'd be thinking, I'm paying for this. Where is Harry Kane? What is going on at the club that Harry Kane will not be match fit to play in this game? Now, to be fair to Harry Kane, I would say in his defence, I'm not putting words in his mouth, from what we've been able to find out about what's been going on behind the scenes, a lot of it thanks to our Spurs reporter Paul Gilmore, is that Harry Kane believes that he has a gentleman's agreement, a verbal agreement which said that he would be allowed to leave Spurs this summer, and he believes that that is not being acted on by Spurs. They're not allowing to leave, but Spurs are obviously saying it's because we have not had an offer which we believe meets our valuation. So I don't want to get into the blame game, but I just something is not right when the Premier League is about to start. Such a big game, and arguably the most famous player in the Premier League, for whatever reason, is not going to be available to play.